All right, so we're on our way. It's the fourth race of the Hemi Shootout season. It's going to be in Topeka, Kansas. I'm just stopping for gas right now, and then we'll be on our way. This was going to be the furthest that I traveled for the entire season. With 1,300 miles in each direction, I definitely wasn't excited to take that drive alone, but I was very excited to see a new track for the first time. All right, so I've been driving about 13 hours, decided to call it quits for tonight. Normally I would do a hotel along the way, but with the price of fuel, I decided to just rough it out. I'm sleeping in the car trailer with the race car. I got my cot set up. So I'm gonna get some sleep and I'll get back on the road first thing in the morning. I made it out to Topeka, Kansas after 2 days of driving. I'm at Heartland Motorsports Park, and we just got here for the test and tune. I finally made it to a test and tune. For various reasons, I've missed it every single time, so I'm happy to get out here a day before the event and have an opportunity to practice. So I'm gonna unload, set up, and we'll be hitting the track soon. I would consider the North Carolina event a turning point for me in the season. It was the first event that I didn't have truck problems, I didn't have car problems, and I started working with Gary from dragcoach.com. Unfortunately, I got eliminated when I ran a 12.6 up against Chris Rosario, but my plan was to shed a little bit of weight. Hopefully that'll make the difference for Kansas. So it's my first pass of the test and tune day. First pass with no mufflers, and I'm down 100 pounds. The jump, but it felt all right other than that. Thank you. At 12.7. When I arrived at Kansas, I was off to a rough start. After running a 12.6 in North Carolina, I shed a little bit of weight. When I got to Kansas, my first pass was a 12.7. This was going to be the beginning of a big learning experience. It is extremely hot out here. Everyone I've spoken to is running about 0.2 of a second slower, so it's understandable, but that doesn't exactly matter much because some of the faster cars, the 12.1 cars, the 12.3 cars, the heat might actually help them out a little bit and bring them closer to that 12.5 without having to slow down. For me, I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna pick up some speed. Let the car cool down a little bit. I might end up buying a stronger fan later today. I kind of have a small battery powered fan. I might get a 110 volt plug-in fan. Maybe that'll help keep the car cool. Tomorrow's going to be even hotter. So I'm about to take my second test pass now and hope for a little bit better results. Better, but not much. 12.69. For my second test pass, I ran a 12.69, pretty close to the 12.71 that I previously ran. Not really much I could do to speed the car up. It's very hot out here today. If you see behind me, I got the front wheel off. One of the things that I forgot to do before I came was to check the brakes. I was so focused on shaving weight after North Carolina that I forgot about the brakes. I did want to change the brakes, and I'm looking at them now, and they'll be fine to get through the weekend, but I'm definitely going to change them after this. I did do an oil change before I came, and I'm just going to get the wheels back on, and I'm going to do my third test pass. Direction 1274. That wraps it up for today. the Test and Tune in Topeka, Kansas. Tomorrow is the Hemi Shootout event. As you know, I'm going for the 12.5 index. A little disappointing today. I didn't really come with a 12.5 car. Pressures and temperatures have really affected me. Even though I was able to shave off 100 pounds from North Carolina, I'm not really getting to that 12.5 spot today. I ran a 12.71, a 12.69, and a 12.74. So relatively consistent. I might do okay in the bracket class, we'll see, but that's not really what I'm here for. I'm here for the 12.5. I'm going for a points championship. So a little disappointing that I'm not really that competitive for the 12.5 class. But tomorrow I'm going to give it my best shot, and we'll see what happens. All right, it's Saturday morning. I'm back at the racetrack. Today is race day. Yesterday was Test and Tune. Today is the actual competition. I just got here. I'm just setting up my pit right now. I'm about to go get my tech inspection, and we got a driver's meeting at 9:45. And after that, we'll be starting our qualifying passes. So it seems that one of my biggest problems this weekend is going to be the high temperatures. I typically use this battery-powered fan to cool down the car in between each run. I went to a local hardware store and I picked up something a little bit more heavy-duty, something 110 volts. So hopefully I'll be able to keep the car cool, and that might help with my times. I've shed as much weight as I care to at this point. There's really not much else I could do. I'm just going to try and keep the car cool, try and stay consistent, keep up with my tire pressures, and that's about it for today. Just going to try and be consistent. I might not be competitive with the 12.5 class, that's what I'm really here for, but yesterday I was very consistent with my time. So I'm staying within 0.05 of a second. So hopefully I can be consistent today, and I might be a contender for the bracket class. As always, I recommend that you go to the driver's meeting so you can get all the information that you're going to need for the day.
We're a traveling Gen 3 Hemi drag racing series. This is our 13th season. We're super stoked to make it out to Kansas for the first time ever. We've run in Houston before, which was probably the furthest west. I had to look on a map to see it was further west, but this is the first time in the heart of the Midwest for the series. And we appreciate you guys coming out. We appreciate the guys and gals that race with us on the East Coast that made this ridiculous journey, myself included. But we're happy to be here. This is a great facility, and we're looking forward to meeting some of you guys that are from this general area. 1250 class, direct connection street 1250 class, same thing, heads up racing. First to finish line wins, except you can't go quicker than 1250. Are we good so far? You notice the trend in the order too, right? It's from fast to slow. We break up the middle with the bracket class to try to break it up. Last class for the morning part of the day is the rookie class. For those of you racing a rookie, that's sponsored by TC2 Motorsports, Grumpy Cat. And Gary Rudy's here. He's the drag coach. He's going to help the rookies kind of get a little bit of the lay of the land and feel comfortable out learning how to drag race with us. So we appreciate Gary for doing that. Dragcoach.com.
Before we do our first qualifying pass of the day, I'm going to show you guys my basic prep procedure. For those who haven't seen the past episodes, it's a 6.1 Hemi. It's a full bolt-on car with a cam and a tune. It's pretty basic setup compared to others that are here. After every single pass, you'll always see me put the battery tender on it. The last thing you want is to have a dead battery. Not everybody does this. It's just something I do for peace of mind, especially I've had battery issues in the past. I do have a new battery in there. I did change it when I went to North Carolina. You're also going to see that I checked the oil before my first run of the day. I changed the oil after North Carolina. I checked it yesterday as well. I checked the brakes yesterday during Test and Tune. They're fine for today, but I will be changing them after this event. And tire pressure. Tire pressure is one of the main ways to stay consistent. Yesterday I was running 20 PSI all day, and I stayed within 0.05 of a second. So I'm going to stick with 20 PSI today. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll make some changes, but for now I'm going to stick with 20 PSI. Another thing that I do is go over all my lug nuts, make sure they're tight. The last thing you want is to lose a wheel during a race. And that's about it. Pretty basic procedure, and it's just something I like to do every time just to make sure I stay consistent and don't run into any issues. So my first passes of the day are going to be qualifying for the bracket class. You can see the bracket class behind me. I'm just going to do a quick walkthrough and show you all the cars that are participating. 1269, 1271, and 1274. And we'll see how we do today. It's already really hot. Today's gonna be a hotter day. So we'll see how it goes. First pass. Oh God. A 13:01. Well, that's a bad start to the day. Gonna head back to the pits. I'm gonna cool the car off as best as possible. I was trying to not let it run too much before my pass. Trying to keep it cool. All right, we're going right back up, lane 11. I was disappointed after the private track rental, definitely not where I wanted to be. After I made my first qualifying pass for the competition, I knew I was in trouble.
Kind of focus on doing the pass right, not so much the reaction time, just making sure that, you know, you stood the floor, you brought it up in the converter right, you know what I mean? Like you did everything right. See if it was just a fluke, you know what I mean?
It was the wind.
Yeah, I mean, that's weird that it went 13-0.
Thank you. All right, we're back in the 12s, a 1278. So maybe that first pass was a fluke, I don't know. I'm gonna try and get the car cooled down now. I didn't get a chance before, so I should have a little bit of a break now compared to how I basically had to hot lap before. A little different than previous Modern Street Hemi shootout events that I've been to. There's actually a car show going on today, some pretty impressive cars. So I'm taking lunch right now, and I'm just gonna walk around and show you some of my favorites. First round eliminations of bracket class. I'm facing a Hellcat. He's dialed in at 1145. I dialed in at 1281. I have a little bit of an advantage because I'm gonna leave earlier than him. I know for me personally, I sometimes get distracted when I'm the faster car and the other car leaves before me. So I'm not gonna have that distraction now. Thank you. A 13-0. I just had first round eliminations of bracket class. I won. The guy broke out. He went a little too fast. I was dialed in at 1281. I ended up going to 1301. So not that close, but the other guy broke out, so I got the win. This is first round eliminations for 12.5. I got lane choice. I'm taking the right lane. I'm up against a Magnum. And unfortunately, not really running close to 12.5, so I don't know how great I'm going to do today, but you know, this is a point series, so I'm going to, you know, take my points for running my 12.5. Unfortunately, I'm more of a 13.0 car today, but I'm going to give it my best shot, and we'll see what happens. All right, this is it. This is what we came here for. This is my first round of eliminations, 12.5. Versing a Magnum. Word on the street, he's got some traction problems. I've been running high 12s, even 13.0. Hoping for the best here, but not looking so great, but don't count me out. Somehow, some way I got the win. Thank you. So we both ran pretty slow. I'm even getting slower and slower. I ran a 13.164. But I did a little better on the tree. And I beat him by 0.008 of a second. Somehow, some way, I made it past the first round. It was literally by the skin of my teeth. It was a really close race. I believe I won off a reaction time for that one. And if you look at the inside the car footage, I had a real excited reaction to winning. Obviously, you know, it's exciting to win. It was a little bit extra for making it past the first round, but I was really excited because I got points. You know, I drove all the way to Kansas, and I'm in this for the points championship, so I was happy to collect as many points as I can, even though my car wasn't competitive. You know, when it comes down to the championship, it might be just those couple of points. So I was happy I made it past the first round. Just gets me that much closer to winning the championship. I'm in the staging lanes. It's round 2 of the bracket class. My opponent isn't here. I don't know where he's at. I might get a bye, I don't know. But yeah, I made it to round 2. And these are all the cars that are left in bracket. I think there's a few missing besides my competitor. So I'm just gonna show you all the cars that are in the bracket class. You can see who I'm up against. I got super lucky with bracket class. My opponent was a no-show, so I advanced to the next round. This is the second round, eliminations for 12.5. I just made it past round 2 in bracket. I had a bye. Now I'm gonna give it another go. I did beat this guy earlier, so we'll see. Unfortunately got eliminated from 12.5. I was still alive in bracket, so I mean, I didn't really come there for bracket. You know, my goal was 12.5, but if I'm still in it, why not try to win it? This is round 3 of bracket class. We're down to the final 6. Pretty cool to be in this spot. This is the furthest I ever got. I am dialed in at a 12.92. I think my Jeep down person is dialed in at 11.5. Wow. I was dialed in at a 12.92. I ran a 12.918. That's a disappointing loss right there. I shouldn't have got back into it. I should have just let off and that would have been it. After 2 brutal days of racing out west, it was time to head home. For whatever reason, I came into Kansas with a little too much confidence, but Kansas smacked me right back into reality and said, you still got a lot to learn. Believe it or not, I'm happy to lose. I'm happy for all the lessons. You know, I'm just applying every mistake into the next event, into the next race. I'm just trying to get better and better. I'm really happy with my progress all around. You know, I'm learning a lot. I'm getting more comfortable and I'm having more fun. You know, this whole project, this whole video, everything has been about self-progression. You're able to see me grow as we go along with the season. You're able to see my shop go. As you can see, we got our first build. It's a Dodge Neon SRT4. You could look forward to that in other videos. So it's all about self-progression. So I'm just, you know, looking to the next event now. Next, we're going to be racing out in Michigan. And for Michigan, I'm going to shed a little bit more weight. I'm going to switch to a racing seat, and I'm going to go with skinnies up front. I'm going to try a couple of things. You know, hopefully it's a winning combination, but you know, we'll see what Detroit has in store for me. We got Speed Week. That's going to be a great week in Detroit, and see you there.